And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We are talking big news here. Taka out at Toyota, at least for the very next Rally Championship stage. Yeah, we'll get into this. So, Taka out. I mean, I was like, whoa. So, Toyota have apparently benched Takamoto Katsuta for the next round of the World Rally Championship in Chile. That's the report on loads of rally sites, including Dirtfish. So who is going to take his place? It's going to be rising star Sami Pajari taking his place in the WRC Rally 1. So the Japanese driver, he struggled for form this season, it's fair to say, other than a few rally events, with a solitary Safari Rally second being his only visit to the podium, and that's through 2024. Now, Pajari impressed hugely on his Rally 1 debut, finishing fourth at the Sector Rally Finland and winning his 9th stage in the car. Now, since then, he delivered a similarly sure-footed drive to bring the Yaris Rally 2 to the same overall result in Greece last week. Yes, protege maybe. But talking about Katsuta, team principal Latvala said it's been a tough season, but he has the full support of the team and everybody knows that he has the speed. Okay, I'm pausing there for a second. He has the full support of the team, but we're benching him. Okay, anyway, I digress. He goes on to say, with this break, he has a chance to reset and recharge, ready for the last two events, which will be important, especially for Japan, of course, where we hope he can be fighting for podium places again. Now, in talking about last week's Lamia-based event, Latvala told Dirtfish not to be surprised to see Pajari back in the factory car before the end of the year. Now, the thinking was always a seat for the Central European Rally, for example. That fitted way more comfortably with everyone's calendars, let's say. But Dirtfish is reporting that they understand the decision was taken on Sunday evening just after the Rally Greece finished, to install him alongside Ogier and Evans and Kalle Rovanperä for round 10. Latvala added, after the great performance that Sami Pajari showed at Rally Finland, we wanted to see more of what he can do in a Rally 1 car. Now, the main goal in Finland was to gain experience, but he already demonstrated this high potential. And in Greece too, he again showed the high level he's driving for the Toyota Yaris Rally. Now, what I also find quite interesting is Motorsport.com reporting that Latvala has come out and said Toyota needs 3 full-time WRC drivers in 2025. This year they've only had Katsuta and Evans, who, let's be fair, both have been disappointing. And the way the World Championships unfolded this season, that seems to be that seems fairly understandable going into next year. So he said his comments followed what was, as we know, a difficult weekend for the Acropolis Rally, where Latvala admitted that the team's drivers and manufacturers titles were pretty much gone, following what was a 1-2-3 for Hyundai. Didn't look like it was going to be at the beginning of the rally, but there we go. Now, reflecting on the way the title race has unfolded, the Toyota boss said that the team's decision to fill 2 full-time drivers with Evans and Katsuta and the 2 part-time drivers in Rovanperä and Ogier has not been enough to challenge for the titles. You could make an argument, I think, had Ogier been full-time from the beginning, or Kalle not been part-time, we would have a very different story, in spite of this horrible new point system. But Toyota reshuffled its lineup for this season after 2-time world champion Rovanperä's decision to go part-time this year to recharge his batteries ahead of a full-time return next year. I think Toyota are thinking, thank goodness. So when asked for his thoughts on the team's 25 lineup before today's shock decision it's now Wednesday at the time of recording, so ignore that, but to replace Katsuta at Rally Chile with Sami Pajari, Latvala said, what I have learned this year is that for 2025 we need to have 3 drivers who will do the full championship. This is clear now that having part-time and if you only have 2 drivers doing the full championship, that's not enough to win the title. We can have a 4th driver do the part-time, but 3 drivers need to be doing a full-time season. Now, when asked if there was felt that a lot of work ahead to finalise the team's 25 lineup, he said, there are things we need to consider and we need to think about. I can't speak on the lineup yet. As we know, Rovanperä is contracted and expected to return to a full-time drive to the team next year, which will be a boost for the Japanese brand that has won the last 3 drivers and constructors championship. And boy, did they need him this year. Calle's already mentioned himself that he is doing a full season, and this is what we've been targeting. It's clear that if Kalle arrives, then it's a full season. We just need to check a couple of things, but this is the way it wants to be. However, next season poses an interesting question. 8-time world champion OGA's future is yet to be determined, although this year he's once again proved awesome. So the Frenchman is committed to seeing out the rest of the season. It was initially in a bid to try and beat Terry Neuville. That seems unlikely, albeit not impossible. But the 2-time runner-up Evans, competing in his 5th season with Toyota, he's endured... they described it as a challenging season, attempting to lead the driver's title assault. I'd say disappointing, but the Welshman, he's regularly challenged for podiums. He has, to be fair, been one of the more unluckier drivers in terms of misfortune. Arguably the most damaging incident, a drive shaft failure in Finland, which when setting second to then clear leader Rovanperä. Despite the news that Katsuta will be bent for Chile, the team made it clear in their announcement that they give him his full support, and as we already know, he's going to be there in Japan. But then Dirtfish has come out and said, is Toyota's decision a surprise? Which I thought was quite interesting. And it's talking about Sami Pajari. Obviously, he wins WRC2 at a Procolis Rally in Greece by 0.0 seconds. Now he has been given two more shots in Toyota's rally car, replacing Katsuta in Chile and joining him at the Central European Rally. In turn, Toyota's decision to sucker punch for the likeable Katsuta, who has struggled this season, but for Pajari, it's undoubtedly a massive chance to prove to Toyota that he can be in top-class machinery. So I guess, yeah, from that point of view, it is no surprise. And it's no surprise that they're giving him a chance over Katsuta, who's had a really disappointing season. So there we go. There's pretty much our comments on Taka out at the moment. For the foreseeable future, it's only one rally. He'll be back. But the bigger question is going to be, is he going to be out for the rest of next year in relation to Toyota? Is he now too much of a risk? Now they need 3 solid full-time drivers. And is Evans also at risk? Fascinating times at Toyota. I guess maybe not if you're Evans or Taka, but fingers crossed. Anyway, if you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That would be lovely. And stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon.